Okay, here's the second part of the video. I've got everything drawn in pretty good now. I know there's a glare and you can't see it great, but I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to start out with this permanent light blue. I put two piles of white. One for the cool side. These are all cool colors. One for the warm side. These are warm colors. And I have them gradated, getting darker and darker as they go up. And these go more from the blues toward the greens. This one's starting to slide a little. I had a little landslide here. So I start out, I just mix a little white. And again, I'm going to hold my brush sideways. If I want a skinny mark, I turn it with the flat part. If I want a fat mark, I go this way. So for my sky, I could have gone to a smaller brush. But instead of doing that, I'm just going to show you how I can paint this whole painting with this one brush. I think it's a number 6. This is my favorite paintbrush. It's Ruby Satin, and this brand is Silver Ruby Satin. It's a green handle, kind of a silver here. So they have some with gold. And I do these little squares. Really not squares. They're rectangles, and they're not pointillism. Everybody thinks it's pointillism, but pointillism would be more like little dots. And I try to let the yellow ochre is the color I put on the background because I want a warm color to show through. I don't want the white canvas showing through because it's too disruptive and it's harder to cover up. Now here's where I'm going to show you how I dig into my lines. See this thick line I made? I'm going to go a little bit into it, but not completely covered up. And sometimes when you hold the brush this way, remember I said you could pivot it, I can go this way. So it's almost parallel to the canvas, not quite. And if these red lines are still a little wet, it'll be a problem because it'll get into the paint. So I'm just going to do a little section at a time. Then I might take this color with no white in it, and I can intersperse it and occasionally let it overlap. But I don't want to overlap to the point that I lose all of my yellow ochre because I want that warm color showing through. So I go like that. And I'll continue and continue until I have just the amount of yellow ochre showing through that I want. And I could go into this ultramarine blue and add a little bit, maybe a little more white. I like to do the lighter color at the bottom near the horizon and a little darker as I go up. So as I go up here, and you see I can dig into that line a little. So when I do the cloud, I'll dig in from the other side. Or when I do the mountain, I'll dig in from this side. So it'll look more natural. It won't look quite so contrived. And I'm trying to keep my colors bright, but not so bright they're gaudy. So you have to learn a lot of color mixing, which might get into a little bit in this film, might not, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's pretend like I've done enough of that. And I would normally do it all over the canvas, and maybe up here at the top, I might even go a little deeper in my colors above the clouds so I can get really bright. See that? If I wanted, I could even add a touch of purple into that. That's dioxazine purple. This is ultramarine blue. So now it's a little more purpley blue. So I change it around. I get bored if it's always the identical same. And people tend to like my skies with a little square. Sometimes I get tired of doing them and want to do something else, but then everybody likes them and it makes people happy, and I like my paintings to make the world a better place. So let's put some more white in that. Not sure we can get away with this sort of purpley color down here. It might be, it works pretty good. I try to change it a little each time, just to make it more fun for me and the client. And here goes some more. So I often just paint what I like, take it to the gallery. Bonner David Gallery is the gallery I use in Scottsdale. Been with them for, I think they've been open 18 years now. They're wonderful. We've become friends and in business together, so that's a nice combination. They're delightful. If you haven't been to Bonner David, go down to Bonner David in Scottsdale if you live here, and if not, when you visit, go see them. But you can see that's what I call a cooler blue. This is a warmer blue. It's more in the turquoise area. Now, let's just say you wanted a turquoise. Well, you can take this phthalo green, a little bit of this blue in it, or a lot. Depending on how greenish you want your turquoise. You want more greenish. You know, turquoise comes in all kind of different, even turquoise jewelry, you can get more greenish and more bluish. Let's see what that does. Oh, that could be kind of fun, just to have another color coming in. Or I could lighten it. I usually mix my colors pretty good on the palette. Sometimes when I used to do oil painting, I used to teach oil painting a lot. And these are just now I teach acrylic. Some of it had to do with my health. Breathing the oil paints was bothering me. So I went more and more to the acrylics. Well, they're not totally safe, but I like the fact that they dry. At first I didn't like them. I didn't know what to do with them. I was so used to oils. So if you switch mediums or you try something new, just know it always feels awkward at first. But the more you do it, the more you learn, the better it gets. And ask from people that know how to do it in a way that you enjoy, and take lessons from them. If you don't like their paintings, don't take a class from them, because that's what they'll teach. And look for somebody that understands teaching principles. Okay, so now I'm going to rinse my brush off. This is just water. Water for acrylics. Now you can see this is starting to slide again. I don't want it to slide on the floor. Get a new paper towel here. I like to use Viva. These are Viva towels because they are very absorbent, thick, almost like a cloth. So I'm hoping my back's not in your way while I'm doing this. I'm trying. Just to show you some, well, let's go into my cloud. I'll just take white, maybe a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to just put some of that. Now, if I want the acrylics to blend it all, you have to do everything while it's wet. So I can't go and do them all like this because it'll be dry by the time I come back over here. So I'm just going to show you while it's wet. And again, I'm digging into the red line so it won't be quite so harsh. I want it to look like a broken line when I get through. Too long to tell you why, but there's a reason I started doing that. Okay, so let's go up here. Another way I might put the white first. And if you notice, some of the famous Western artists like Maynard Dixon, something like that, maybe I'll use the yellow ochre for the yellow instead of the bright yellow, just so you could see the difference. I noticed one time that a lot of Maynard Dixon's clouds have no white in them. They're just lots of cream colors and like this yellow ochre color with white instead of pure white. And I've done both. Sometimes I put the pure white in, sometimes I don't. I could even, let's just say you wanted to be a little more colorful. I could even come in with some pink. See? And I'm putting it like at the bottom edge of each section, so there's kind of a consistency, thinking about where the light's coming from. If it's coming from this side, or this side, that can affect where you put a little color. I'm going to go back to my white, a little pure white. Now because I'm holding it, my brush this sideways, I can make nice thick marks right out of white. So I want some more white up here. I'll have to get more white out. Well, that's a good time to stop for a minute. So that's the second part of the video.